as the cart begins to descend. In the darkness, you see unimaginable things. Terrors beyond reckoning, things not of this world. As these just monstrosities pass by you, they things begin to lurch out towards you, grasping not at your physical body, but at your mind. And as things begin to move around you, the memories turn sour. Blood. So much blood. You feel yourself, your limbs stretching, as though on a rack, being pulled, and it doesn't stop. Your entire perspective shifts, and you begin to break. Your mind begins to wander. And finally, in the one fleeting moment, one final chance at sanity, roll an intelligence saving throw.
Hilda will guide herself.
Because it works on saving throws.
Oh, shoot. I forgot. Oh, well. Well, regardless, she knows the only person she can depend on herself is herself. Intelligence saving throw, is this normal or disadvantage?
Actually, before you roll that, roll D100.
Oh, shit.
19.
And a 36.
Huh. 19 was the D20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 36 for a D100. Okay, I was sitting here being like, I don't even know how that would work. You believe that you are cursed to die in exactly 6 hours. But then... yeah.
She's paranoid.
So now by the end of this night at the carnival, you will be dead, and you know it. As you reach the base.
I don't think death or dying makes Matilda more paranoid.
You just kind of know that it's going to be time for you to move on. And here's the thing, the voices in your head. Oh, how we've waited for you. It is time to come home. And as you reach the base, continue. Please go ahead.
I like to think when she was on this track, like seeing all the scary things, I like to think that she like had one little tear because I think she probably had really scary nightmares as a child, not really understanding all these different things that were trying to influence her brain, or like these images that she would get flashes of and didn't know how to compartmentalize them. So yeah, that was really hard for her.
As you reach the other side, you find yourself, like, first off, the cart rolls in backwards, and you're at the end. As you look around, you see the cave in front of you begin to descend. You lean back, you take a deep breath, and the back of your head bursts out. You lean back against the back of the carriage, and as all of you look onwards towards this, Matilda's head explodes. And that is where we'll take a half-hour break.
Oh, damn.
Did you just kill my character, Adrian? What the fuck?
Hasn't even been 6 hours.
See you all in a half hour. You all look onwards towards Matilda, and you all witness just the back of her head blow out. Her body goes slack on the side, and as Lazuli begins to... She kind of like looks over towards you, and then she goes to kind of check in the same way that she did before and says, pity. And then continues like just struggling to keep the juggling balls afloat.
Fuck. Georgia's like, I noticed that this probably won't do anything, but she goes over, puts her necklace on her, and just like pours alcohol down her mouth.
I'm gonna say roll dexterity.
Fuck. Straight dex. Normal. Oh, natural 20. 21.
You move forward.
It's like,
No, you run in. You place the amulet around her, neck. You go to like place the drink, and you can see the drink clear through from one side of her head to the other.
Oh,
You hold this wine skin and you begin to pour into her mouth. Matilda, did you have any damage?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll the healing, Jojo.
okay.
I took damage when I got hit by candy.
18.
Okay, I believe that was 16 bludgeoning. So you recover 18 hit points.
That means I'm back up to full, unless I don't know what damage I took with the big hole in my head.
Actually, none. Because as
Okay.
this liquid begins to pour down your throat, you open your eyes and you stare forward as you see this person that you don't trust filling your mouth with booze.
Oh, part of the thing was you weren't supposed to eat or drink anything that wasn't prepared by you. Oh my god. Your eyes are open. I look, is her back of her head still open? Just still pouring.
Adrian, would I have enough agency to defend myself from someone that I don't trust that's also trying to force feed me?
Yeah, what do you try to do?
Stab her with my dagger.
You pull your dagger out. Go ahead and make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Need to pull out my dagger. Do 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 do. Boo 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 boo. Oh my gosh. I don't.
Stab me.
I don't attack with stuff very often, so I'm like, where the fuck is all my shit? Okay. Roll? No. Okay, anyway, whatever. Let's roll a regular d20. And then we'll figure that out.
I will use feather fall. Just kidding. 14 doesn't hit. Well, that's 14 plus something, right? You have something proficient.
No, I think it's plus 0.
That was
Really?
also
You
just
don't have a
1d20.
proficiency in-
Roll one more d20.
Oh yeah, okay.
You stabbed me twice?
Disadvantage.
Oh.
A second d20 was an 18. So proficiency, that hits you, Jojo.
Yeah. If
Oh,
your
shit,
proficiency
really?
is a
You bring
plus
the
3, then
dagger.
yeah.
You bring the dagger back and you stab it
Mm.
forward. That's 1d4 flat piercing damage.
Now, I do want to say that my eye, like, I just got my face blown in. There's a hole in my head. My eyes look like a little crazy. Like, it looks more like it was a reaction to, like, having something stressful happen than me being like, oh my gosh, I need to kill Jojo.
Take 3 points of piercing damage as the dagger is just buried in your chest.
Ow! Tilda, what the fuck?
What's going on? How are you? Is there just like brains scattered like behind her?
Nope, just gone. And it begins to rain candy once more. Vincent, you take your umbrella, you lift it above. Everybody else takes 16 points of bludgeoning damage as they are once again descended upon by unavoidable rain of hard candy.
Are you okay, Matilda?
Yes.
The sun continues to set. And Disnan looks towards you and says, we don't have much time left. She's alive. That's good. It's surprising. It's good. But you need to finish the games. Who's left? Do we all have our coins? You've looked better. You need your last stamp. You don't want to be caught outside.
Who are you talking to, Adrian?
He pointed towards Matilda.
Okay.
Who all has our stuff? Vincent has it. Killian ate the thing. Yeah, so it's just Matilda. Yeah, Matilda, you gotta do one more. Are you gonna be okay?
I think at this point, Vincent's like been kind of circling. He's going to try and go in Matilda's mind. Who are you?
Would Matilda be able to answer that, or would he be met with the voices in my head?
Here's one thing actually. Before that, roll a D100 for the stab. $33. Roll a D4. Okay. Your personality changes slightly. You lose your medicine proficiency, and you gain Arcana proficiency.
Okay.
I can just pop that in your character sheet here. Quick.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
And now that is yours to answer. I'd like to see how you do this. So it can be you, or it can be the voices in your head.
I think the voices in my head. I'd like to be like, Matilda's not here right now.
Last time, because Vincent's talked to Matilda in her head lots of times, just because I want to stay consistent, I don't think Vincent could ever hear the voices. Is this something's changed? Is this new?
It's all in Matilda's voice.
Okay, so it sounds like Matilda, but she's making her sound like like she's pretending to be a different person.
It sounds like Matilda impersonating somebody.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like the voice is still Matilda's because it's their internal dialogue. She only gets the different voices, I feel, like the way they sound in her own head, but the cadence and just the way they speak is very, very different. So
Yeah.
it's really weird. What are you doing in here?
What are you doing in here?
You live here.
What have you done with Matilda?
Nothing.
But clearly this isn't her.
How can we put this? We're part of her.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, I said, how can I put this? We're part of her.
That's fine, but I meant physically. Her head is not there. This is obviously not her. Humans don't work this way.
Yeah, they usually don't, but we're not really sure what's going on right now either.
Vincent will just look at Jojo and Killian and be like, I'm not 100% sure what's wrong, but there's someone else in her head right now. Well, her mind. And then he kind of looks at the absence of it on her body.
Aren't there always more than one person in her head?
No, dear.
Matilda, you gotta do a game.
Okay. And then kind of like slowly and mindlessly walk over to another one.
There were 2 remaining. The one was Find the Flabinger, and then the other was Flashy Feathers.
Could I try and sort of sneak up to touching range of Matilda and forcibly give her a bolstering magic?
Roll stealth. Matilda, you are actively paranoid of everyone around you, so I'd say make an active perception check.
At disadvantage because of the hole in my head?
I built
Yes.
through the back. I'm kidding.
Jojo, you move forward. I think everyone else in the party notices you, but Matilda.
But Matilda does feel the magic like shoot through her body, and then Jojo's just like, like just tries to act natural after.
Matilda turns to look at you. You've never seen her eyes look like that, and they actually look pretty scary. And she looks at you and says, "Don't touch me."
Nope. I didn't do it. Who? What?
The crows above you dance and just stare. You can hear shuffling and footsteps around every corner as the sun begins to crest the bottom of the forest in the distance.
I walk towards the feather one, or find the whatever the fuck that F word is. Find the F word.
Lavender.
Lavender. But my thing is, like, when do they have the stamps?
Right at the end, right as they're about to stamp. That's as soon as you've seen them.
Okay, Matilda will walk up to the person that is going to do the game with them and sit down like she's going to watch. Do the cups. And then she'll look at the cups, and then right before they're about to start them, she'll look at them and say, "Give me the stamp." And she'll Eldritch blast them point blank in the face.
Ooh,
Vincent
make an attack roll.
rages- Vincent, not rages, puts his umbrella up.
Yeah. Which one is this? Which one? There's the clown. There's the.
I thought I heard you wrong, but I love
This
that
is
you...
right here. Oh, that's everybody.
I need to target them.
There you go.
Thank you.
Oh no, it's damn.
Crumb lowers the feather fan, and you see just that porcelain mask. And then as soon as you say, "Give me the stamp," you raise a finger and you go to blast in the face.
Attack. Disadvantage. An 11 hit.
An 11. You bring the first blast. Slams against the side of the mask and then rears back. No damage. Go ahead and
Plus
make a second
1d3.
hit.
Plus 1d3
Ooh.
for bolstering magic.
Go 14.
That's an ability check, isn't it?
No, it's also attack rolls.
Ooh, let's check. For 10 minutes, adds a d3 whenever making an attack roll and
it's
ability check.
D3, so it's not a guaranteed +3. You have to roll a D3.
Okay. Na, 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 na. Wah, 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 wah. Roll. Oh, whoops. What?
2.
A 2, that hits. You bring the first one back. Poof, they rear back, and then the second blast slams directly into the face under the mask. Go ahead and roll damage.
I said 9 damage.
Oh, it's 9 force damage. The mask shatters, and underneath you see this just hideous furred face that is flat, nothing but small beady black eyes that cover the entire face. And as it rears back, it turns its attention towards you, and you see that crinoline dress lift up in 8 different locations as it begins to pull itself. The 2 little feet at the base split into 8, and this just massive spider-like beast lifts itself above you. As it brings a hand up, you see individual claws begin to rake through, and as it goes down to strike back at you, a whip-like lash holds its hand back. The head looks up, and you see the crow holding onto one end of a whip and produces a stamp that then throws it towards you. Violent guests will be rewarded.
Vincent cocks his head at this whole exchange, and then he looks to the rest of the group. It's probably Matilda.
So they're restrained now, right?
The hand is pulled back and is now being held in place. They do not seem to be capable of harming you in this state.
Okay. Matilda's eyes kind of like glass over, and she gets like a bit of a little maniacal smile. And knowing that they can't fight back, she'll hit them with her second Eldritch Blast.
Here's what I'm going to say. They are, in essence, helpless right now. As you turn to blast them the second time, both blasts hit. Go ahead and roll damage. And immediately, as soon as they realize that this is what's happening, they turn to flee. So that's another 9 points of force damage.
Are they
Another 10 force damage. Are they what?
never mind.
Yeah, you slam into this creature at the front, and they turn, move their way over, and as they climb over this this wooden fence and these various different tents, they descend and leave your perspective. Like, you cannot see them anymore in this just strange spider climb. They flee the area and hear in the distance as it slowly fades away towards the big top tent.
Vincent looks up at the two crows that are perched above. I'm assuming they let go of the whip as this thing starts to flee.
Indeed.
I think it's about time we talk to the ringleader. Or at least the minions.
Got
We'll
my
look up.
stamp.
Sorry. Go ahead, Matilda.
Oh, I got my stamp.
And he will cast command on those two and shout out the words grovel.
Wisdom save?
Yeah.
Yes, make them touch the ground. Make them touch the earth with their tiny little feet.
Touch grass, nerds.
Reach down and touch grass. As the two begin to dance, they acquiesce to your request. They begin to move their way towards the big top tent and chittering the entire way. But they have resisted your command. And they begin to guide you towards where the ringleader rests. Disnan, yes, oh, thank God. Thank the gods. You'll be safe now. You don't have to stay outside. Oh,
Have you ever stayed outside, dear?
no, but the sounds. I don't want to know what happens.
You were so happy before.
It was fun before. It was all fun. It was different before. Things change. Things change. That's life. You have to change with them.
This person doesn't seem normal, Adrian. Is there a possibility to insight check him? Is he influencing this area?
Roll insight.
Carnival was never fun.
15.
15. You're uncertain whether he himself is being influenced by, as far as you can tell, if he said he's done this over 4,000 times, this is like 10 or more than 10 years of repetition of just all day, every day, 18 games, get to the big top. Whether he himself is going completely and utterly mad, or this place is mad because of him, you do not know. And Matilda, when you say the carnival is never fun, he says, yes, you're right. It seemed like it was for so long, but it's not. It never has been. And slowly he just begins to move towards the big top.
Vincent will
follow him.
sign a couple things out and grip a pendant. He's going to activate his summon devil as you walk towards the big tent.
Who do you summon?
He'll bring out Darling.
You summon Darling. And as they appear, give me one moment here to fix this. Oh, did it work? Oh, it worked. I didn't expect it to work. I thought it was going to stay broken. You summon Darling, and she just appears through this wispy magic. But these shadows that summon her, they're not dark like you're accustomed to. They're almost lifeless, like a gray. And as the light around you also begins to, like the torches and the color and everything begins to slowly desaturate, the whole world begins to just turn to dust. The grass underneath your feet, the 6 pie wedges that lead in towards the big top, all just desolate. Nothing remains but dead trees in the distance, desiccated cornfield beyond, and a massive, brilliantly flourished big top tent. Darling looks towards you and raises a hand and places it on your cheek, running it down the side of your face.
He just keeps moving forward with the rest of the group towards the big top.
As you reach the front, a small coin slot embedded in a small stand in front of a curtain that leads in towards the big top with a sign pointing downwards that just says Honor System. Matilda, as you take the stamp that had been given to you and you affix it to your card, it folds into your coin.
I was considering not putting the coin in, but I was like, no, honor is important to JoJo. So she respects the honor system. So she puts her coin in.
The curtain opens just to darkness beyond, and you are allowed to enter.
She enters.
The curtain flops closed daintily. Also, yes, the reward you received previously, Matilda, was the stamp, so it did not rain candy upon you all. I was trying to remember if I didn't damage you enough yet.
Thanks, DM.
Blows a hole through the back of her head. Have I damaged her?
Have I
enough?
damaged you enough?
wonder.
Not you. You, the royal you, as in all of you. Collective punishment.
Vincent leans over towards Darling and takes out a dagger and nicks her clothing because it's real right now, and takes some thread that comes out from it, and unwinds it a bit, just like the thin metal fibers, ties it around the coin and puts it in.
It goes in, chunk. The curtain opens. The coin's still affixed to your fingertip.
As he goes to walk in, he'll just pull it back.
You pull it. The curtain remains open, and you stride forward. You immediately gain the title. You can feel your ash bond expand. You receive the title, the Honorless.
Ha!
And you step
Nice.
forward as the curtain closes.
Glad I respect the honor system because JoJo would have hated that title.
Killian uses the. She's not going to try to keep the coin, but she's going to use her magical tinkering to essentially just really quickly press a small glowing sigil in her coin and plunk it in, just in case the coins come up later.
What does the sigil grant you? It's just like a recognition mark?
In this case, it's giving a 5-foot radius of light.
Okay, interesting. You see it like a vein, like an artery, begin to illuminate ever so slightly underneath the ground. As the coin goes in, you see the ground illuminate and just go in towards the center of the big top 10. And then the curtain opens for you.
Okay. She walks through.
I look at
She's still riding Blade Week.
Gotcha.
my coin. Can I read?
The coin itself is just folded paper. You can read, although it's like a bit of a struggle.
I think Matilda's instincts for information would be like, she was like, I need to keep this. So she takes out an actual gold coin. I don't think she really is comprehending the value and sticks that in the box instead and keeps it.
The curtain opens, and as you pass through the doorway, you also receive the title, the Honorless. You all find yourselves in the center of a big top tent. The ground itself, soft and firm, squishy, but dirt. You begin to move forward and you find a small hay floor. And with each step that you move in, more of the area begins to fill in. In the stands, the large wooden stands to either side of you, you find seated Lazuli. You find seated Crumb, Mache, Bubbles. And above you, dancing effortlessly, the crows. And in the center, as a light begins to ignite, they all look towards you expectantly at the center stage. In the middle, you see a circular wooden barricade built into the ground itself. Or not a barricade, sorry, just a trim. A wooden trim built into the ground, and within that trim, just hay. Everybody roll perception for me as you enter into this area.
Blade Week as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Roll deception?
Perception.
I was really confused. Can Darling roll her own perception?
Yes.
I'm actively perceiving. Do I need to roll a D100?
Yes. Please, thank you.
Killian can't take her eyes off of the hole in Matilda's head, so she doesn't notice jack shit.
51. 51. Interesting. You open your mind's eye. Both of your eyes shut and, as far as you can tell, stitched closed. They are not physically stitched closed, but you are sure that they are. As your mind's eye opens, you gain 60 feet of blind sight.
Ooh.
Go ahead and do this.
This is just getting fucking creepier and creepier, Adrian. Now I'm walking with my eyes shut. I got a fucking hole out the back of my head.
Oh my god, you're the
Holy shit,
creepiest
this
thing
looks
Would
alive.
her
awful.
mind's eye open up in the hole in the back of her head?
Oh,
Ah!
they're still visible on the back. As you guys begin to move forward, expected at the center of the big top tent, Disnan is nowhere to be found.
Huh. Jojo will make her way to the spotlight, I'm guessing. There's a spotlight in the center.
There's indeed.
Okay.
As you move in, immediately around you. Do you all move in, actually? I'll just ask that one last time.
Vincent will go forward as well.
I'm a
With
little
your-
mindless, but I do.
Killian?
Oh, she nodded.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sorry, I had nodded. Yes.
The spotlight intensifies, and you find yourselves here.
I don't know why intensifies always makes me laugh. Like anything intensifying.
It's that meme. So
Yeah.
It's funny.
Anything intensifies. Immediately laughing.
Ah, hilarious.
Observations. Huh. You find yourself here in the center of the big top. A stone circle surrounding you and hay leading from the entrance that is south to where you stand now. And this strange, discordant melody that has been playing omnipresently around you ends. And in its place, you hear this. Sound of distant kazoos coming from all directions at once. On the far right side, walking down the stone pathway, you see Disney. And he continues to walk forward and says, "Yes. Yes, I remember now. I don't need to feel this pain. This place does not control me. No. How foolish I was!" As one arm begins to stretch and you see the bones dislocate before eventually they begin to grow back into place, and this one long, just torn arm as though placed on a rack just bends and distorts, and then the next. His leg grows third until eventually he cannot walk straight, and as he begins to move, a straitjacket appears around him and begins to wrap around one hand of white cloth, completely tying itself around him. No, that's right. I remember who I am now, and I remember most of you as well. Third arm tears out of the back and then turns to cloth before it wraps itself around and begins to compress him, and his face slowly is encompassed until the entire body is wrapped up, and what you see standing before you for the second time is Loveless.
Oh boy.
Slowly, the body begins to break and distort, and as it reaches the center stage, one hand raises and says, "Let's get you the prizes you've won, shall we?" One finger snaps, and Killian, you find a memory pop into your head of where you were bapped on the side of the hand for cheating. Your hand, a line appears, and your hand falls clean off your arm. No
Ooh.
cheating. You've lost the use of one of your hands. Matilda, the back of your head slowly begins to fill in, and as you can feel your insides return to you. Your madness subsides, and you take 48 points of psychic damage.
You up?
No! Good night!
Just this wave of psychic energy passes through your mind, and you fall down, collapse over to the side, and you land. Oh, that's right. Points a finger up towards Crumb, where a feather previously had landed atop her head, or atop their head, this massive spider-like beast that now stands before you. You see the crows that are perched, dancing on the ropes above you about 40 feet. Wag a fingertip, and the whole top of Crumb's head impacts as a spike drives itself through her, pinning her to the spot atop the right side. And she is gone. Well then, now we can begin the final act. He begins to move. You've all drawn my attention. I was called by one with whom I owed a favor, but I could not save them. Or perhaps I did not want to. It's so hard to find out these days. But you, I know. You lot I want. You can kill me. I'm certain of it.
Are you someone that craves death?
Death would be my release from this world finally. For so long I have been here, in this pale place. He raises a hand and you see, like, a little bit of the shadows cast from Darling gets siphoned back and just turned to this pale nothingness, this gray wispy cloud, the very same Jojo that you had seen above you, suffused around the entire area. I want to be gone, but each time I fall, I rise stronger still. I brought you here for one reason. You can end me in my mind, then I will finally be gone. Now, without further ado, the main attraction. He brings two hands to the side. He gives a deep bow. Everybody, roll initiative.
Ooh. Okay, also, the kazoo song. Fucking incredible.
It was slightly out of tune.
This is
Slightly.
Vincent's just being polite because he knows that it's what gets you. It's honey vinegar, you know.
It's just like the flute of like My Heart Will Go On, like the bad recorder.
I love
Bad
that
Recorder
shit.
is the best fake name for that. What's that YouTube channel called? Bad Recorder. I love it.
I also love how climactic this battle is. I started it unconscious.
One person is down.
After
Would it
Vincent.
really be a boss battle if Matilda didn't like go unconscious during it?
Yeah.
Darling goes right after Vincent, 13.135. Perfect. And combat begins.
Ooh, so me and Loveless have the exact same initiative. Roll off?
No, I believe you would go first. Let me bring you up to 13.15.
At least you rolled the low initiative, Matilda.
The battle begins. Oh, I'm sorry. I did forget some things. This would have all happened simultaneously, so Matilda, no death saves here. But everybody who was previously buffeted by Candy takes an additional 16 points of bludgeoning damage for each inference. So that's twice. Each of you take 32 points of bludgeoning damage.
Woo! Let's fucking start this battle low.
Okay, so hold on.
The
You said
info booth guy was very useful.
so that was 40. How much damage did I take? 46 plus 30.
No, he said no death saves.
Yeah, they are different sources of damage. It's an instantaneous thing, but it would not have dealt more than your hit points in one source.
Okay,
So,
so would
yeah.
not have like insta killed me because of like.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Could I get a bloody thing?
Anyone else need some blood?
Must
Yeah.
pay offering to
I
the
need blood.
Blood. How's
Yeah.
Bladebeak?
Bladebeak, I was just gonna look at that. It's probably down.
I don't think Bladebeak-
Max.
Bladebeak was not hurt by any of the bludgeoning damage before.
Oh, okay.
Bladebeak was in Toy Soldier, so you're all good. Loveless stands now over to the side, and as Mache begins their turn. Staring at you guys from the corner, the head cocks to the side, looks over towards you, Vincent, and just whispers to you, "Thank you for taking the umbrella." Raises one fingertip, shoots two little force darts in, one towards Jojo and one towards... Ooh, are they going to do Matilda? No. One towards Jojo and one towards Killian.
I mean, I don't know how angry he is that I call this carnival not fun.
I don't think he particularly... He didn't seem to have taken too much insult to that. He broke a little bit. But you have other people aiming for you. Bladebeak. Oh, sorry. Targeted the wrong person. Jojo. The first one comes in towards you and bounces off the side of your body. Killian.
Nice.
Second one comes in towards you and manages to impact. You take 4 points of force damage. You see that force, kind of that magical energy pierce through your body, and just some of it slowly siphon back towards Mache at his fingertips as they crackle with further energy. It is... Bladebeak goes immediately after you, yes?
Yeah.
Or do they have their own initiative?
No, they're me.
Perfect. It is the crows' turns. They, dancing at 40 feet above, on top of these ropes, you guys can see above you this just intricate pattern of ropeways. There are two crow's nests from like a ship's crow's nest here and here. In front of you on the other side of the combat arena, there are raised platforms, and right here, a ladder leading to the northern one, and here a ladder leading to the southern one. Those are also about 40 feet up. Crows turn their attention towards you, Matilda. They move their way in, one of which takes a whip, throws it down towards you, and it wraps around your waist. You cannot succeed this, and you immediately begin to get hoisted up. You are now 30 feet in the air.
Can Bladebeak attempt to deflect? It is an attack, or is it a save?
Let me actually check this.
Bye, guys.
This is an attack roll, so you may go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is a saving throw.
Okay.
You just begin to get lifted in towards the crows. You're 30 feet up, and you are now pretty much here. That is the end of their turn. Vincent, you are up. Actually, let me give you one piece of information. This may change your turn, just to point them out. You also see, as the fissures open up in the ground, disembodied and nearly demonic-looking eyes open in the dirt beneath you and begin to watch your fight in various different locations. Now you
Demonic?
may. There are just
Ew.
red, pulsating, flaming eyes as they begin to just open in the ground. They stare down towards you all and watch the festivities happen.
Vincent is going to use a bonus action on Matilda. He's going to cast Healing Word. Six health. So you are up. And then as his action, he's going to look towards Loveless. Shiana wasn't really worth it. She couldn't give you what you wanted anyways.
Can you give me what I need?
I can, but I don't think I can do it right now. And to be honest, this little circus you got going on here, whether or not we kill him. It's a long shot.
You must do it now! If you do not, you will simply die yourselves.
And you may never get what she wants. Vincent will move. What are these things blocking the shutters? Is this like a...
These are just tall wooden poles that lead. You can see that the ropes themselves are connected to them in various different locations above you.
Yeah. He's going to move. That's all we can make it. Can Darling be around him and move with him, or she's still over there? Just a question.
I don't think she moves by nature with you, but because her turn happens after yours, you can have her move towards you afterwards.
Okay. He'll end his turn there. His action would have been talking to Loveless. I guess he never really did anything. Could I roll persuasion or anything, or you don't think it's an option?
Not in this case. So I wouldn't say that it was your action to do it, because it couldn't actively have changed anything.
Okay. Vincent is going to... as he was walking away, he'll look towards Loveless, and he'll tell him to grovel as he points his wand at him. I need him to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, I'm gonna roll a D100 for him. Okay, he willingly fails this saving throw. He brings himself down to the ground and just places his head, just slams it down into the hay underneath. And where you would have expected a thud, you instead hear like this loud squishing noise.
Maybe you'll hear better from there. Vincent will move back and just turn, and then Darling will go first. She's gonna go next to she's gonna go over here. I can't move her, so you're gonna have to control her, Adrian.
I'll bring her over to there.
No, she's just gonna go next to Matilda here. She's gonna look up towards these crow people. And telepathically sort of like whisper something to them. I need them to roll a wisdom saving throw as she attempts to fear them.
This just constant dissonant terror begins to rack through their minds, and they are frightened.
Does this cause them to drop Matilda?
I would not say so.
Vincent is going to instruct her to hold her action to catch Matilda when she falls. If she falls.
Was the whisper thing from Darling in action?
It's a bonus action.
Nice. Darling awaits underneath and kind of just perches waiting for Matilda. On Loveless's turn, his head hits the ground and he continues to grovel as he raises his hands and says, "Does this change anything? Will I finally be released? Will you kill me now?" "Answer me!" Screams out loud.
Jojo, I think it's best if we ignore him and deal with the others first.
Okay.
From just twitches. You see the body just desiccated, orange ichor leaking down the side of the bleachers where she sits. And Killian, you were up. Or where they sit again.
Killian is just gonna check. So Killian rips at her clothes with her good hand and like uses her teeth to just and like tear a strip off of her sleeve. And she's gonna wrap her hand, but in doing so, is then going to stick it into like a small pocket on her belt that's filled with like charcoal and like other things that she would use for smithing. And she's going to cast Aid on herself and 3 creatures within range, which is 30 feet. Would I be able to reach Matilda from where I am, or would I have to move first?
Not from where you are. Matilda's 30 feet up, and let's get rid of difficult terrain. 10 feet away, so that'd be basically, they're 35 feet away right now. You would have to be underneath Matilda basically to get perfect.
Okay, so can I move and then do that?
Bladebeak moves, yes. So basically,
Well,
bonus
I
action
can
command
also-
Bladebeak to move.
I
Oh,
can
okay.
also just jump off. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just kind of hop off Bladebeak, run over here, do all of that, and Matilda, myself, and Jojo.
Huh.
Each of us gain 5 current HP and 5 max HP.
Um, 5 max HP. Okay. Oh,
The ropes above, are they connected to any kind of like pillars or anything like that?
I can give you a brief look at them here. At least I believe I can. I cannot. You can see that they are attached to the pillars both in front of you here, and then they extend over to various different pillars and locations on the outside of the arena.
Sure.
They also they basically, everywhere you see these wooden pillars, ropes connect into them.
Okay, so the ones that the crows are on aren't any specific rope.
There is one rope leading from here and then off into the background there.
Okay. Then my bonus action is going to be telling Bladebeak to start cutting this pole.
You bring Bladebeak forward, and the force blade just pierces and go ahead and roll an attack roll against the pole.
All right. Also, for whatever reason, I don't have control of Bladebeak. He is an enemy.
Oh, here, let me check this. Let me get rid of this Bladebeak. It might be this one. Do you have access to this one? Still an enemy? It's this one. There you go.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. He's gonna. Still can't move him, but.
Just putting them back in the initiative.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sweet. I'll turn this to free, and you're moving Bladebeak underneath you?
No, to the pole.
All right, beauty. As it moves down there, begins to saw. This is your force empowered rend. Oh yeah, begin to immediately cleave at the bottom of the pole. Roll damage. As you begin to saw at this bottom pole, the crows above take immediate notice, and they begin to focus their attention towards you. You see both of them occupying one space. Their bodies just merged into each other at the base.
All right. That is Killian's turn.
Bubbles' turn. Bubbles, I've been waiting for this. Immediately just charges down from the bottom of these bleachers and just slams into the side of you, Jojo. Brings the hands back, slams them together, and then just goes for a vicious punch before bringing himself down like a toad and going boom, just launching himself up into the air and slamming down on you. Go ahead and roll for me you can roll a strength or dexterity saving throw for this, your choice.
Okay. Let's see here. What is my good one? Strength or dexterity?
You'd have advantage for dex, right?
Oh, I
Because of
do.
danger sense. But I bet your strength is probably higher.
My strength is a lot higher, so I'll just go strength. Ooh, okay.
13. Bubbles
13.
slams down onto your body and then lands over to the side of you. You take, that is, let me roll this. 12 points of bludgeoning damage and 7 points of slashing.
Okay.
You are knocked prone. And that is it. They stand
great.
next to you now. They turn around and they face you. Time for some fun there, little buddy. and it is now your turn.
Oh, great. Good. Love that. How many eyes am I able to see from my current location?
What is your passive perception? 13 with disadvantage for darkness? Oh, no, you're good for darkness. You can see there's an eye here.
Is that it?
From your current perspective, 60 feet, yes.
Bubbles, you really fucked my shit up here.
You can see an eye over here in the dark.
Okay.
There's an eye over here in the dark. There's an eye over here in the dark.
I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna take out my wand of magic missile, and I'm gonna blast those eyes. I heard Loveless like knock his head down to the ground, and he heard like a squish. And I'm thinking back to like what we know about Loveless, which is that he was just like a dude. He was just like a guy named like Siren, I think. He was just like a wandering bard, and then he went crazy. So I'm wondering if like this tent is like a monster. And thinking I should try and kill this tent. And so I'm gonna shoot 5 blasts of magic missile towards these eyes. I think I only saw 4 of those, so I think I'll send 2 to maybe I'll send 2 to this one.
What's funny is as you step into that spot, you're like, I only see 4, and you place a foot down, and you just hear.
Oh.
You move like your foot off ever so slightly to the side, and the hay separates, and you see an eye staring up at you from the bottom.
Then I will send 1 to that one. So I'll send 5 out. I don't know.
Go ahead and roll damage. 1d4 plus 1, and then we roll once for the entire payload.
I'll just aim at myself, I guess.
Sure.
Where is my magic missile? There we go. I consume 5. How do I do 5? Oh, I just put it as 5th. There we go. Cast. Normal? Well, shit. Lowest possible number. I do 2 damage.
2 damage. These eyes, 5 of them slam into these. You actually also take note with your passive investigation. You see a faint red kind of like glow coming from the eyes underneath your feet. And as you glance around, you see another one of those glows down here. And yet further still, another one to the south.
Jojo will shout out to everyone. Guys, the eyes! Look for the glow! And then, as a bonus action, she's gonna rage. Oh, should she rage? Yeah, she's gonna rage. Rajay. It goes so fast. Oh, I don't think there is one of those things for me to click, huh? Okay, I'm good. And then Wild Surge. What do I get? When they hit me with an attack roll, creature takes damage. Okay. My rage ends if I go unconscious, so we'll see how long that lasts. Yes, I believe that's my turn.
As the eyes, the 5 that you had shot begin to bleed, you see that same blood begin to trickle down from the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears of all of the assailants around you.
Nice.
Like the front of Loveless's mask becomes stained with red, and he says, "Yes, yes, yes," as he begins to pump himself up. Lastly, just slowly blood begins to trickle down from the side of the face, and Matilda, you are up. You are being grappled. There is like the crows above you are attempting to pull you up, this just mishmashed and blended individual. A whip around your waist as they are hoisting you towards them. What do you do?
They protected me before, right? From actually getting hurt.
They did.
So Matilda will turn and look down towards Killian and Vincent and say, "Thanks." And then I will heal Killian for some dice. I know you're hurting really hard too, Jojo. So don't worry, I didn't forget about you. I'm gonna do it twice.
No, you're good. I can keep myself from going down for a little bit.
Good stuff. Thank
Medium
you.
healing is 3, right? Because that was a 2.
He's bam. So you restore 9 hit points.
Okay. And so and then I kind of like cock my head at the ravens and like, are you gonna hurt me?
It is time for the bad children to go to bed.
Oh, good one, sister. Excellent rapport.
Then they scream out in terror as they look down at Darling.
Yep. Oh, they're moving away.
So best what Matilda understands about people. They're the mean ones now. Alrighty. Hi. What? Oh. How far away are they from me?
10 feet. You're underneath them, basically.
Oh, okay, so then I don't have disadvantage. Ah. Haha. Dumb. Attack. Normal. 28 hit?
28 hits, roll damage.
Oh, well, that sucks.
5 force. Blasted with the force. Go ahead and do another attack.
Am I not supposed to be adding more damage to that?
Nope. It's already adding the +4.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna do again. Attack! Normal! The 21 hit.
21 hits, roll damage.
Come on, good damage. Yes, much better.
12. Oof.
Yeah.
Just slamming into these combined twins as they begin to flee this location from this strange shadow creature underneath. But they still manage to keep holding on to you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Mache takes a single languid step forward, and then with the renewed energy in his fingertips, picks 2 new targets. Matilda and Vincent. 2 bolts, 1 fly in towards each of you. Let me do this. As these darts of force ripple their way through the air. Vincent, you are hit, but you have a reaction.
Does this look familiar, like a magic missile?
No, it's literally like a small bullet of force.
Okay, then I will hold on to mine.
Matilda, come on. I don't think I did it.
Okay, Matilda, both darts come flying in, both slam into both you and Vincent. Each of you takes 5 points of force damage, and Matilda, you've succeeded. Vincent, you succeeded the dex save. Matilda, you did not. You feel that force turn to gravity and begins to immediately pull you down. The crows smile, and they let go. With one flick of the wrist, the whip undoes, and you immediately descend 30 feet. Darling was waiting to catch Matilda, so go ahead and roll for me. Here, here's how fall damage works, basically. Each of you would take half, but because this was an action taken, go ahead and roll athletics for me to see how much you can sponge, if not all of it.
Darling?
For Darling, yeah.
Oh, do you want me to roll too?
No, Darling's action was waiting.
Oh no.
Okay. that feels canon. Both of you fall, and that is 3d6 fall damage.
I feel like Darling goes to she looks up and then she goes to put her arms down to let Matilda just fall onto the ground, and then looks over and Vincent just glares at her, and then she puts them back up but too slow, and Matilda slashes into them
Yeah. Like the old trampoline ones where they would hold the trampoline but the person would not land on it. They land on the ground instead.
Oof. Each of you takes 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh,
as
no.
Matilda, you slam onto Darling, and Darling kind of just takes the brunt of this hit.
Oh man, I was too focused on my friends.
Looking over towards Vincent, I tried. Kind of. Marginally. Once again, energy.
You're not unconscious, Matilda. You
I
gain
am.
6 points from me and 5 from Killian. Oh wait, I don't think they're. Have you taken that much?
Are you unconscious through the temporary hit points that you had?
Well, she went down. Those would have gone away.
Well, no, it wasn't 10 hit points. My hit point max went up, and then I got
that's
5
true.
hit points.
Yeah, max increases your current as well.
Yeah,
But
I
it increases
added.
your max and your current by 5.
Yeah, I know. I did. I only added 5 though. I had 8 or no, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I had 11 hit points.
Okay, you took 6 right now.
And I just took
Oh yeah, because
more.
other 5
Yeah.
from the
Fall.
14. Okay.
Yeah, so
Perfect
Gotcha.
lethal.
bye.
Perfectly lethal. You slam into the ground, and as you reach kind of the hay underneath, you once again fall unconscious. The aid on you ends, I assume, or does it not if a creature falls unconscious?
They are shaking head, in case you do not see.
Sorry, yeah, I was. I
It
shook my
remains?
head. It lasts for 8 hours, regardless of how
Yeah.
much damage or unconsciousness or anything like that.
Beautiful. Okay, then in that case, Matilda, as you slam into the ground, I accidentally made you unconscious. You are unconscious
Shit.
again.
Man. Sorry, that was bad punning on my part.
As you hit the ground, you are now at 0 feet. And Mache, you see the energy once again siphon back into his fingertips, and they crackle with more energy. The crow's turns. They immediately get the fuck out of here. In fact, they move their speed, which is 120 feet. Circling around, trying to get as far as possible from Darling. They just circle around. As they reach here, they actually can't break line of sight from this height, so they turn, they fucking gulp,
They can
and they
dash.
drop. No, they're up in the ropes. They can see you guys from anywhere. So to
Okay.
break line of sight, they need to get behind this bleacher, and as they fall, you hear them descend slowly, hit the ground, and just a splatter of blood across the entire area.
They said they could never come down, right?
They can never come down.
Yes, bring their little feet to the dirt.
That's like your third dirt statement today.
Yes, the dirt. Touch the dirt.
Vincent, you are up.
It's my next druid. The dirt druid. A dirt circle druid.
Circle of dirt.
Oh my god, please make
Dirt
this.
and dirt accessories.
I just picture like one of those people that eat dirt as like a weird addiction.
Vincent,
Yeah.
you're up.
So Vincent will run over to here, and then look over towards Loveless. Bumbles is fighting JoJo. You could kill us all now, or you could wait. I might be able to do this. Not now. Only you can stop this, Loveless. he's-
Roll. Oh, sorry, good.
Continue.
Okay, I thought you were going to do something else. Roll persuasion.
That would use up my action, right?
This one would, yes. If you're attempting to edit kind of the situation around you.
Okay.
Go, Bard, go.
19.
19. Here's what happens. He says, "I've waited long enough," as he slams his head into the ground repeatedly. But you see a crack in his armor, metaphorically speaking. Like, he seems to be... He's not as aggressive as he was the first time you asked. What do you do with the rest of your turn?
It's gonna go over here. He's gonna look down, and he's gonna pull a stick out of his lapel and just hold on to it. Jillian, I'm assuming we don't have to deal with those birds above anymore.
Not like this. And she just like holds up her bloody stump.
I don't have anything for that right now, but. And Vincent will lean down. He's gonna whisper over to Matilda again. I guess. Healing word. And then, as an item interaction, can I throw the stick in my hand towards Matilda as she like opens her eyes? Catch this.
Yeah, you turn and you toss the stick over, and it kind of like baton tosses in the midair. As do you end your turn there?
Yes.
And what does Darling do?
So Darling's, I guess, prone on the ground because she was like dropped upon by Matilda. So I think she like angrily stands up and like brushes off her outfit. It's covered in hay. And just kind of snarls. And then Vincent basically grips her shoulder, and then she turns back around. She's gonna lean down and grab that thing that he just threw towards Matilda, and just kind of sigh, crack it. It's a smoke bomb, and it goes off around this area. It's a 10-foot radius. I don't know if you can put that up.
Oh, you want me to do that? Yeah, that's fine. 10-foot radius around Matilda?
It's just an obscurement. Yeah, well, around Darling, basically.
Around Darling? Perfect. The entire area fills with smoke, and you are all heavily obscured. At that the end of Darling's turn?
Yeah, I think that's all she was gonna do.
At the beginning of Loveless's turn, he looks towards you, Jojo. He brings himself up from prone, cracks his neck, fixes his shirt. It can't be later. It has to be now! Right now! Do it now!
Yeah, fine, I'll do it now.
It needs to be here. Turns and goes to kick you in the chest. That will be his first attack. This is actually... You may roll athletics or acrobatics to contest this.
Definitely athletics. Oh. Let's see. Athletics is advantage. 18.
18. He brings his foot back, slams you in the bottom of the feet. You expect it to the chest, and then in the last moment, his leg kind of just like angles downwards, hits you in the knee, and brings you down to prone as he forces you down onto one knee, and then turns and with the other leg just whip kicks you across the side of the face, and then jumps and does a third kick to the side of your head.
Ooh.
So with this
Sure, this guy wasn't a monk?
Fairly certain. He brings his triple attack in towards you.
Oh, just kidding. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. Yeah, holy shit. Dual nat 20s.
Oh!
The first hit
God.
slams you in the side of the face for a grand total. That's 47 points of
I will
damage
tell
for
you,
the first hit.
you didn't need to tell me how much it was gonna hurt me. Yeah, she gets hit in the face, and like you see like the rollback of like the orcish like resilience as she like is barely holding on, and then he like just like, well, I don't remember the last one, but I imagined his other foot just coming up on her jaw and just completely like, and then she just falls backwards unconscious.
So the first hit was 47.
Yeah.
So that was
the
relentless
second
endurance. Okay.
Yeah,
The second one
so-
comes in and slams into the side of your head for 48 points of damage.
48. So I mean, it's still.
Yeah, if you're down,
It's just
you're down.
still unconscious. I mean, do I get a roll on the injury chart?
I think so.
Yeah, this is a big one. Let me bring that up.
Yeah, because I believe, I mean, I would have come back with 1 hit point with relentless endurance.
So the first one,
And,
nothing. But the
yep.
second one is damage threshold 2, 31 to 50 damage. Roll a d100.
Woo! Let's go. Hole in the back of my head. Just kidding.
It's not on that list, I don't think.
Oh, 8.
8. You roll 2 more times, ignoring 1, and 80 to 100. 90, you ignore that. You ignore that too. Roll 2 more times.
Woo! Let's go. All
11?
the 100s.
54. You both suffer a permanent ringing in the ears,
That makes sense.
and the second blow was a what again? 54. You have a discoloration of the area that was affected. So like you have
Like-
basically almost a permanent bruise or some kind of discoloration of your jaw,
Ooh,
and you
I
have a constant ringing in the ears.
I sort of like the idea if like his foot came under here and like somehow there was like some scarring like up the jaw just here. So it's got like almost like a 3-prong type of like discoloration right there.
The leg. Here's the funny thing. As you say that, the leg itself did not feel particularly solid. As you had seen this individual, a halfling man, distorted and just pulled to this height of like 8 feet tall. The leg itself, as it whips underneath you, is more like a whip than a leg, and it scrapes and rakes up the bottom of your face as you fall unconscious.
Cool.
Loveless then, sorry, turns and begins to move to the south, circling around towards the rest of its prey. Crumb is still dead. Killian, you are up.
Do I see any of that happen, or does the smoke completely just...
It's full like fog.
You are within the center of a just dense, opaque fog.
You heard like
I probably heard that
probably-
shit, right? Like that's like
Oh, yeah.
thunderclap, heavy.
Whip, crack, thump.
Yeah, and
body
now we
hitting
don't
hay.
hear, and we don't hear Jojo raging anymore. I don't picture raging sounding very quiet.
Oh, that's a good point. They take a decent. They take
Thank you.
2d6 damage.
Got him.
Got him.
Thank you.
That is 9 force damage before she went unconscious.
9 force. Perfect. That did not seem insubstantial. As it bounded back, he like fucking recoiled from that hit pretty bad.
Nice.
Killian.
All right. Killian is going to tell what Bladeweed to keep going, just like keep sawing at the wood. But she is going to cast invisibility on herself. Now that's a tough word to say with teeth in your mouth. So with just like one hand, she kind of like takes like her tool, takes it out of her belt and kind of slides, kind of hitting, but also kind of off to the side, just kind of almost sweeping. And just as she sweeps, her like clothes and armor just kind of disappear. And she sweeps a few more times before the rest of her body also disappears. And she is going to attempt to move towards Jojo.
You just slowly dissipate outside of the view of everyone. And as you go invisible, you astride up next to Jojo. The clown standing next to you is like, I wanted to have more fun, and does not seem to notice you.
Okay.
Actually, do you move stealthily?
So, would that require my action?
Nope, it's just you move at half speed.
I'm a goblin. I can do that bonus. Oh no, my bonus is to tell him to keep sawing. So, yes, I do want to move stealth. So half speed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you can reach here, right next to Jojo moving stealthily.
Perfect.
This guy does not notice you.
Okay. That is my turn. Does Bladeweed continue to have to hit?
Bladebeak continues to saw. Go ahead and roll an attack roll. This is just basically to see, like, you're not missing the wood. You're just
It's a
seeing
matter
whether
of
or not you can.
progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 hits. Roll damage. 13 damage.
Yeah.
Whole thing slams into the ground, and as it slowly begins to fall, all of those ropes go slack. Everything connected into this central rope here is untraversable.
All right. Does the pillar fall in any one direction, or is it like held up by all the ropes?
The pillar at the top is being held by the ropes, so the whole thing is slack, but you can pull that thing to get it out of the ropes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's my turn.
Bubbles' turn. Looks down towards Jojo. Looks back towards Vincent.
Well, I'm in a cloud. He can't see me.
Exactly. Moves over to the side here. Leans down, brings himself down to his knees, gives you a pat on the top of the head and says, "It's all right, buddy." And then goes down to just slam into you.
Teacher, I have a question. There's
yes.
a squishy eye below me. Does he hurt it?
Ooh, that's fun. I would say as he punches down the first time, I'd say his impact goes through, and then he does not utilize his second attack.
Oh, okay, cool.
But the first attack comes in, advantage.
That's a double failure, right?
This is, if he hits you, it is a critical hit, and it is 2. He brings his fist down and just slams into the middle of your chest, The impact goes straight through you, squishes the thing underneath, and you see a little bit of blood trickle down everybody's eyes. And then as he just kind of, oh no, oh no, oh no. He just begins to freak out. Everyone around him is like, you idiot. And you suffer 2 death saving throw failures. As he reels from this pain that he has inflicted. So let me go ahead and roll damage for this. Take half of that.
Oh, it's me. Oh, great. Okay. I'm making it private GM roll.
Okay. On Lasley's turn, the juggler. She moves forward, brings herself down to the ground. Matilda, you have a question?
I can wait after this one.
Okay. The juggling ball's kind of like flipping through, looks over and around towards everybody. Throws one down towards Jojo. As it flies down, you see Bubbles move out of the way and smile. It hits the ground and Curveball flies up and slams Bubbles in the bottom of the chin. Followed by boom, boom, 2 more. Boom, 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 slamming into the back of his head. What do you think you're doing? Just escaping. 3 of these come in. Go ahead and make this attack roll. First one's a nat 20. Second one miss. Third one hits. That is 29 damage for the first hit and 16 for the second. There you go. Bubbles is bloodied as these the 3 balls slam into the back of his head. Lastly begins to move forward, strides down, and as they return, boom, boom, they ignite in flame. And she holds them now prepared for the next round of attacks. Bubbles said, "You should have told me or something. I'd join in on that." And he looks over towards Lovelace as he begins to crack his fingers. Mache.
No.
None of you are following the rules. Takes his fingertips, tears off 3 of them, throws them up. They turn into birds. Matilda, what's up?
It's my turn. I'm not on the initiative tracker anymore. I'm right after Lasali. So if I could please go, I'd really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Do you know what your initiative was?
It was 2. So it was a 2. That's why 2? I knew it was after Lasali.
Brilliant. Thank you kindly. I'll move it back to your turn.
Okay. I was conscious when I heard Jojo go down, and I like to think that Jojo has a distinct sound when she's raging. Like you can just hear her heavy breathing. You just know that she's there because rage is not quiet. So I don't hear that anymore. So
I hear me going Super Saiyan.
Like I don't hear. I don't picture that. Just like, like really like heavy breathing. That I know it's Jojo's breathing. And then so I stand up. So that's half my movement, and I pop my head out, and now I can see Jojo. She's on the ground. Looks like shit. Ah! And I am going to heal you for 4 of my features. I use like multiple of these.
I think you just burn them.
You just hit the button multiple times. Just
I can't do that. I have to like select her every time. Oh well. Hey.
Jojo, so far 8. That's 11. You can also only do this up to your charisma modifier.
Yeah, which is +4. You can only do 4.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing for. That's 3, 6, 9,
14.
Damn girl, fine.
Yeah, okay.
Jojo, you are
Cool.
no longer unconscious.
Did I hear anything about eyes? Did I wait for that?
Yeah, Jojo yelled out to go for the eyes. That was on her original turn. Yeah. Do you remember, Bianca?
Yeah, Vincent went before her and he healed her up, and then Jojo went and discovered all the ice stuff.
Perfect.
Okay.
Then you did hear.
So is there eyes anywhere I can see?
All of them have been somewhat damaged, but you can see several around you. You are on one there. Your blind sight, by the way, is gone. So let me get rid of that.
Yes, that was my bonus action. For my action, I'd like to target the eye. I can't select it, but...
Yeah, I've just been selecting myself when I attack the eyes.
Okay. I'm gonna beady it. Eldritch Blast! Oh, that was almost a nat 20.
The 11 hits.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and go ahead and roll the second hit.
Ooh.
Ooh, that
miss.
misses. Actually, no, that one always misses, but yeah. So you take your shot. Your first shot impacts into the eyeball, and the second kind of flies to the side. Roll D100.
Oh, shit. I thought I wasn't cursed anymore.
No,
You're not.
Bad things happen on that once.
56, you're good. Nothing happens.
Okay. So I did okay, and then so I got up, I moved space. I'm gonna move back this way and end my turn.
Puff out, blast, move back in. And as you're once again obscured, Mache looks in towards you and says, "Oh, would you please just stop?" He moves over here, points his fingers towards Lastly and Bubbles. Says, "Both of you have shown terrible workmanship. Demotions." The crackling energy at his fingertips boop, boop, launches one blast towards each of them.
Oh, you should have said you're fired. It would have been a good Donald Trump reference.
He's not the big bad boss.
Bubbles remains standing, but Lastly gets blasted, and both of them take a fair hit. More energy siphons into Lastly's blast. And as they both take this point of damage, they're both still up. Lastly is prone. The energy slams into her feet and sweeps her off of them. You hear a faint sobbing. The bodies of the twin crows, one of which you see this hand just scraping the just bloodied portion of both of them across the ground. And as they reach, now within your line of sight, they just turn over to face you. One of the bodies limp, the other one just teeth covered in blood as they just slowly 5 feet at a time drag
they
their
still
way towards the
frightened?
fight.
They can't come closer to Darla.
They're currently here. That would have been closer. Can you still see them here? You can hear them dragging themselves. At this point, there is nothing between the two of you that would not let them know. Also, at the end of their turn, each of their turns, they get a save.
Mhm.
Still frightened. That is their turns. Vincent, you're up. But first, let's take a little break here. And Vincent, you're up.
So Vincent will, you see the smoke around him waver and kind of bubble and turn to black and then fizzle down and almost looks like it goes into Vincent's feet. And the smoke cloud dissipates, moving less around. He'll take a step forward towards Loveless and essentially, come on, Loveless. You know you can't get what you want. At least not right now. I know
Why
you're-
do you think yourself so weak? You think you can't kill me? I've seen weaker adventurers kill me.
Yes, and here you are right now.
Every time. Every single time, yes.
You know what the definition of insanity is, dear? Do I even have to passively insight check that?
He just continues to stare at you. He's like, I don't
The
understand your
blinks.
human euphemisms.
The definition of it is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome, dear. You have to
I
change
call
a
that
variable
Thursday.
to change. You have to change a variable in order to get a different output. That variable can be me. Whenever we get out, you will seek me out in the city. We'll talk. Because you won't die here. Vincent will look over. Jojo's up, right?
Yes, Jojo is awake.
Prone, but up.
He'll take a couple more steps over here, and he'll look down towards this glowing area with the eyes. But for now, I guess we'll play along. He'll put a hand out, and he's going to cast Shatter in this area on top of this eye.
Loveless just raises 2 arms to his side, brings his head up, and just awaits for the damage to pour over him. Just roll damage.
This does extra damage to like constructs. I don't know if this would count.
Stone, crystal, or metal, it does not.
Okay. $15
damage. The pain racks through all of the creations before you. Bubbles just coughs out some blood, is now bloodied. Mache turns his attention towards you and says, "Please stop that. It's very tiring." And then blood begins to pour down from his mouth.
Vincent takes another step forward. No. He's going to set off a glimmer spark.
Go ahead and roll. This is an attack roll? Yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay.
Just refractive rainbow energy appears around you and immediately turns into just sparkles and sparks.
Eight.
Also need a D20 charisma proficiency.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't prompt me to roll that.
$15 hits. 8 points of damage tears through the eye as those around you once again recoil. You see Loveless kind of like blood begins to pour down the mask.
Darling will come over because Vincent will end his turn, and she'll run over to this area, and she's going to slash at this. Her action. Sorry, just need to see what it is. Uh, 26 to hit.
Ooh, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
So 9 piercing damage, and then does the eye roll a Constitution saving throw to resist the poison damage?
It can roll con, however, as you do that 9 damage, 2 damage goes through and the eye just pops. You can just see this kind of liquid pour out from underneath the hay as it begins to soak.
Okay, Darling will go over in next here and end her turn.
Leslie is now bloodied. Mache is now bloodied. Oh, no, he's not. Math is off. And that is the end of Vincent and Darling. At the beginning of Loveless's turn, he raises a hand up and snaps his fingers. As the light around you goes up, the rest of the room is illuminated. The spotlight begins to just kind of open, and the entire area is ignited for a brief moment, and the sun above, like the tent above you, just kind of twists open, and the light begins to pour down. Everybody who is currently within the central ring of the hay needs to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Vincent, you are just outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Darling.
You always seem to be just outside of radiuses.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you, but it's also really annoying. Because I'm like, damn it! Checker, save? Sorry.
This is a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Killian, no damage. Jojo, no damage. Matilda, no damage.
Oh shit.
Darling, full damage. Bladebeak,
Sucker.
Bladebeak, full damage.
What?
Loveless,
Loveless, man.
natural 1, full damage. So that will be Loveless, Bladebeak, and Darling.
Type of damage is it?
It is radiant damage. That is 26 points of radiant damage.
Darling disappears.
Just erased as the
She
light
just-
pulls the
she
shadow.
looks up and then she just sighs as the light avoids Matilda and just gives her a middle finger as she flitters away.
Bladebeak as well, that is 26.
Matilda adjusts her glasses.
Bladebeak is bloodied.
You adjust your glasses.
Bloody.
Transitions, motherfucker. Bladebeak is bloodied.
It's
Bloodied.
impressive how you get your entire mouth around. Oh.
Everybody else managed to get past that. Loveless kind of like smiles as he slowly begins to cook. And that was the beginning of his turn. He then moves over here towards you, Vincent. Grabs you. Go ahead and roll to contest a grapple.
No. How does he go to grab me? Because Vincent puts his arms up like we're going to dance.
Oh, you don't contest the grapple?
Yeah.
Okay, so shit. You start trying to lead a dance?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Roll persuasion.
That was
Yoga, I love that.
19.
No.
Starting to
No.
catch on that this guy's a little bit unstable, so as he walks up, he's like, perfect. And they just start to dance.
Yeah, he seems like a bottom. Just needs a good person to lead.
Exactly. Does this work, Adrian?
Let the music tell you all you need to know.
Shakira.
As the two of you begin spinning in this wonderful dance. He lets you lead as you rolled the 19, and he begins to kind of shuffle alongside you throughout the area, doing this like faint circle. Eventually he shuffles you over here, and as he expends his movement, kind of just moving you through the paces back and forth, you feel his grip begin to tighten and his fingertips begin to sharpen. As slowly he begins to dig his fingertips into your body. 19 persuasion. The two of you continue dancing. And then he looks towards you. You know, I've never met anyone like you before.
Not many have, dear.
It's like you just want someone to kill you, you know? But you just won't do it. What makes you tick?
Many things, dear.
See, for me, it's just one. I just want to die. That's what I mean. Like, you're so different. You're different than the other boys.
Like I said, bottom.
Sometimes you need to let someone else lead once in a while, dear.
Roll. Ooh, that touches a nerve. Roll persuasion again.
Roll for big dick energy.
19.
He just he doesn't respond to that. You see his face just drop. And the dance kind of comes to a slow and grinding halt, and he just stands there. That's his turn. Killian, you're up.
All right. Is Bubbles on our side now?
That's up. That's on the fence. That you're still unsure about. Lastly
Yeah.
seems pretty devoted to fleeing, and he seems kind of like passing. That sounds fun. I'll do that too.
Matcha is definitely being a dick, so like he's safe.
Mache is a
Yeah,
guaranteed. Bubbles is a 50-50.
All right. Well, Killian is just going to continue creep just a little closer to Jojo, and Jojo, you feel like the glass of a potion, like kind of smear across your face, like towards your lips, and I just drink, and I'll give you a healing potion.
The mouth miming was so good.
Wow. Nui sneakily.
When the kid like lead the invisible potion, you can see like this weird. It would look so fucking.
Does Bubbles notice? I really want to know if Bubbles notices.
Bubbles does not notice
Aw.
shit. That's one thing about
It's
Bubbles that's
min,
very
right?
fun. Yes, the minimum of this one is
6?
5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Like the maximum is 10, so min will be 5.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bubbles doesn't seem to notice shit. He seems just devoted to whatever he's doing at the moment. So much so that he's oblivious to most other things.
Awesome.
Okay.
Love it. Love to see it.
Yeah. And then at that point, Killian, I think Killian's gonna just stay there, and not break stealth to like shout at Bladeweek like a new command. So Bladeweek will just stay where he is.
Bladebeak remains in place, and at the end of both of your turns, it's Bubbles' turn. Who does? Let me see here. One of you may roll a d100 to see. You may choose amongst yourselves to determine what Bubbles does in this instant.
Not I.
I rolled so many.
Oh, you rolled? Wait, what?
No, I've rolled so many, so please not me.
I roll 100.
Oh, it's in.
Oh my god.
He is 100% dedicated to your guys' cause. He takes out a stogie, he puts it in his mouth,
Oh,
and he
it's
just
like-
fucking flexes off the top half of his shirt. He says, "Let's go!" as he turns and begins to run in towards Loveless.
Hell yeah.
He
Do I like
reaches here.
clowns now?
He reaches here, and then he just... Actually, he can't do that. Instead, he backs up. He just kind of shuffles to the side, prepares, brings himself down. You see once again his legs just tense, and then boom, bounds into the air.
Vincent. I was gonna say Vincent looks at him as he's backing up, and he's like, "I got this one, that one." And he points to Mache.
His fucking legs are like tense and tight, and he like tries to move himself over to the other side, but his one leg kind of just goes off before the other one, and he just begins to spin as he flips himself up from the ground and then slams into Mache instead. That is a deadly leap. Oh, no, delete that.
Oh, what did he say?
Something in Abyssal.
Oh, okay. Checks out.
Bubbles flips into the air. He kind of like just careens himself towards Mache, who's like, "What a bother." Brings his hand down to stop him, just places his fingers in front, and then Bubbles fucking slams into him, knocks him prone, smears him against the ground. Bubbles lands on the other side, and just is now there. Mache takes full damage from this, having failed his save.
Uh,
I'm on your side now. Ready to have some fun, kids?
yeah.
I can't hear you.
I'm never going to a carnival again.
At the end of Bubbles' turn, Jojo, you're up.
Jojo is going to take out her warhammer. I have to get up first, huh? Yeah, I have to use up half my movement, so I still have 20 feet. Is that enough to get over here? I think it is.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, then Jojo will fucking go over here and slam this eye real good.
Is this the ox?
It is the ox.
All right, you move at least 10
realized-
feet.
Yes, so I get more damage. I should have raged first. Can I rage first?
Yes.
I will say that I raged while over here for reasons.
In case
Uh,
unofficial reasons.
Rage and surge. This is my last rage, so if this one goes down.
Also, you keep rolling blindedly, Candace.
Oh, I
You're
see.
still blind. You rolled a 4.
Yeah, I could see it. It was only blind to you guys. Magic infused is a weapon of your choice. Damage type changes to force damage tight. And now I'll slam. Come on and slam.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Attack with advantage. I'm going reckless. First one is a 21 to hit.
21 hits.
And then how much damage? It was an extra d6 if I run at least 10 feet, right?
Indeed, yeah.
Okay, so I'll roll another d6. So that is 15 force damage? Is all of it force?
As you grab onto the warhammer, and it's all force now. Goes just surrounded by magic. You slam down into the eye, and it just splatters around you.
Nice. I still have quite a bit of. I still have one extra attack, right?
You do, and also you can throw your weapon now. There's a normal range of 20 and a long range of 60.
Uh-huh. How far is that? I can get that one. Nice. Yeah, I'll toss it at this one then. So that was attack with normal because I'm raging, but it's at my long distance, right? So normal. 15 to hit?
Reckless is all of the attacks that you make. It doesn't matter if it's ranged or
it
melee,
actually doesn't work for ranged. Sorry, so it should be at disadvantage. So I will roll another normal. And it is the same thing.
Perfect. 15 hits.
Okay. Versatile. Normal.
It can't be versatile. It can't be two-handed.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Damage. Normal. It is instead a 9.
9
force damage.
Slams into the eye to the top, and then the weapon reappears in your hand. 9 damage. Lastly, Meche, Bubbles. And
that is my turn.
Ooh, they are all looking really bad off. Lastly, looking better than the others. Mache looking relatively okay. Bubbles looks on death's door, and Loveless is bleeding from just about every orifice, but he's just frozen there in space. At the end of your turn, Jojo, it's Lastly's turn. She's going to reach back into her lapel and pull out a few cards, flip them down, and then just throw them as they lift up into the air. You hear whistling as they take on their various targets. One flies in towards Mache. The other one flies in towards Loveless and kind of hovers above, almost like focused on it for a brief moment, and then turns back towards Mache. Bubbles reaches over to try and grab onto Mache, but he's just like, oh, bother. He's also prone, so they're at disadvantage. He basically just sits there, and the paper cards flying towards them. He just kind of grabs them and turns them into parts of his body, regaining bits of his fingers that he had previously used as weapons. And lastly, he's going to climb back up onto these bleachers. Matilda, you're up. Oh, you were muted. I thought you were really thinking hard.
Oh, no, sorry. Are you still bloody, Jojo?
Yes, I am. It would take a lot for me not to be bloody. I don't think it's gonna happen.
All right, I am going to then... Is this an eye?
There is one, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to attack the eye. Does Vincent look okay?
Yep. Vincent's not bloodied. You're mine.
You seem to be handling Loveless, so I'm letting you do your thing.
We're dancing and he's bleeding. It's fine.
It's like being back at home. I'm pretty sure Mama Mal and Pom Pom have danced with blood on them at some point, so she's like, 21 hit.
21 hits, roll damage.
11.
Who are you aiming at, sorry? 21 hits regardless, but... Oh, the eyeball, perfect. 11 damage. The first one flies inward. Jojo, with your previous damage, this eye pops.
Nice.
This one?
That one's gone.
Yep.
You can still see some glowing from this area.
Yeah, I never popped that one, I don't think.
And I can see this one, right? Okay.
Yes.
I can see that one. Because there's one behind the bleachers here, but I can't see that one, like in reality. So
Yep, there's another one up here too.
I'm gonna move to this one. Itty bitty, go! The 20 hit.
20 hits. Roll damage.
Oh, come on, good damage, good damage, high damage.
Above average.
10 points. The second one slams into the eye, and you see bubbles. Immediately hits the ground. Well, that's all for
Bubbles,
me,
no!
kids. Remember me. Just falls back and slams into the ground as blood begins to just pool
I
underneath.
won't. And my turn. Fuck carnivals.
Lazuli begins to bleed, and Mache begins to bleed.
Is Mache bloody?
Mache is bloodied. You see Loveless, who stares over as the eyes kind of just immediately begin to pop around him, and he just kind of reels from the damage and then looks over towards you guys. Why does it always have to be me? Why?
Doesn't
Vincent.
it?
Was it my fault? What did I do? What did I do wrong?
I have a thing, but I'm gonna wait till my turn.
Okay. At initiative 20. He continues to look towards all of you for answers. Mache stands and looks down towards Bubbles and kind of just cocks his head. Well, you were never particularly a good worker. Turns his attention towards the rest of you. Raises a hand, and you see his fingers down to his hand, down to his forearm. All of which just tears into individual pieces of paper, which flitter up. Fly in towards each and every one of you. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Even myself, who is invisible.
They do not need to be able to see the target for this ability.
Gotcha.
I am not agile.
Okay.
My glasses are dirty, so I can't. I was like, oh, fuck.
Vincent, you have to receive damage one of these boss fights.
I am hurt.
Do you not see my shirt is wrinkled?
I've got hit once.
Jojo.
Yep.
Matilda, Killian, Bladebeak, all of you fail. Each of you takes 21 points of slashing damage as these pieces of paper, like razor blades, tear across your bodies.
Okay.
Vincent, you take... That is 10.
What type of damage?
Slashing.
Vincent is now bloody.
Oh, Matilda.
Mache takes a few steps towards...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Vincent takes a few steps towards Loveless and says, "Back to work."
Who says
And
that,
he-
Mache or Loveless?
Mache says that to Loveless. And he's like, "Yes, sir. So sorry, sir." Looks towards you, Vincent, almost like for permission.
Vincent just looks at Loveless and kind of smirks. And then, no. I think a new boss is in town. You don't need to listen.
Roll a persuasion contest with Mache.
$26.
You have always been useless. You'd never do anything right.
What's the matter? Can't figure out how to con a mook? Can't figure out how to play the game, Syrian? You'll always just be weak. Just a stupid little man. He just begins to stride forward, and you see Lovelace kind of shirk back with each thought, and he says, No. No. I am the one who decides my fate. You can't hurt me anymore. As he stands, he reaches one hand up, clutches his fingers closed, and then prepares something. The crows, being freed from the influence of the terror of this strange shadow woman.
From the eyes bursting, though?
They have been, yeah.
Oh, God.
Slowly crawl their way forward. They're going to use their action to dash to make it the full 30 feet. They get here, and with their bonus action, you see one of which call out this just depressing call. One you can tell to be a harmony, but discordant by itself. Who is currently... Jojo, you're up. Everyone else is conscious?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Killian, I need a constitution check to maintain concentration on invisibility.
Way ahead of you.
Nice.
I had gotten a 15.
Oh, it's 15.
Which I
Perfect.
think passed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bladebeak just fell apart though. He's down.
Bladebeak is down. As this call cries out, Vincent, everyone who is currently awake, please roll for me a Constitution saving throw. Wisdom saving throw. My mistake.
Does it affect me even though I'm unconscious?
It does not.
Ignore that con save.
Okay.
Can you imagine if it was healing? Like, sorry, Matilda.
Okay. You all fail this. And as the crows call out this one last discordant call, their body shrivels up. Vincent, roll a d6. Jojo, roll a d6. Killian, roll a d6.
Ooh, all different.
5, 4, 3. Vincent, you turn into a rat. Jojo, you turn into a chicken.
Nice.
And Killian, you turn into a frog. We'll drag in some of these for you. I'll drag in this abyssal chicken.
Petting zoo.
Ooh.
Where's Killian? You're invisible even to me.
Yeah.
At the end of the crow's turns, they kind of slam into the ground, and you can see just barely clinging on to life. Vincent, you are up.
Vincent, as a rat, looks up towards Lovelace and scurries up onto his shoulder. Can you do so? He has a climb speed.
He doesn't stop you.
As he's there, he just looks towards him, and he can still use. Can he still use his mind link abilities?
Let me check.
His infernal voice. I just need to be able to see the creature. I just don't know if the rat overrides my abilities.
As though you are affected by a polymorph spell.
Okay, then it does. Hmm.
There's no chicken.
Then I'm just a
There is none.
normal ass
You are,
rat.
you are an abyssal chicken.
Is that the stats I have?
Yes.
Oh, good.
This is tricky. Because polymorph will also make this so you gain the intelligence of the creature, so I don't even know if you know what he's doing.
You go under his hood and like pilot him like Ratatouille.
Hell yeah.
I think he's just gonna sit up on Elvis's shoulders and essentially just wait to see what happens. Because he can't do anything else as a rat.
As you climb up and you just assert yourself as this individual's ally, he looks down at you. Roll a straight charisma check.
As a rat? Okay. Let me look up this stat.
Oh, you're such a pretty boy.
The negative
He's
3.
like
Sexy
guys.
rat.
He's got like He's got like a little tux on. It's cute.
Oh my god.
With him. Great.
Makes you want to learn taxidermy.
Okay. I have a -3 to charisma as a rat.
Aw.
So just a
It's
straight
bullshit.
charisma check.
Yes.
This is rat prejudice. They're very charismatic.
Aw, no.
Oh!
Do I lose all mine? I guess you turn into that creature. See, I don't even have silver tongue. So yeah, it's just a 4.
You are brought to the shoulder of Loveless, and he looks down at you, and then he looks over towards Mache, and he says,
Put him back the way he was.
and Mache is like, you simpleton. They raise a hand towards each other, and you can see as they begin to move in for some kind of final conflict. Vincent, at the end of your turn, you revert back to the way you were. You kind of just like perched on his shoulder, just kind of sitting like this. You just move yourself back, and
yeah, I figured that would be cooler than just kind of like falling on top of him. That's better. I'm back. You have.
He looks over towards you and says, "Good to see you." Focuses on the enemy in front of him, and as he strides forward towards Mache, he grabs him by the lapel and says, I 2 weeks. 2 weeks notice. Points towards him and just like shakes his finger a few times. He says,
Loveless, you can do this.
is that a bardic inspiration?
Yeah. Sure. I'll use my last one.
I'll say this. No need. This is a normal inspiration. As he turns his attention towards... He just takes his hand and places it on Mache. You see this aggression that's in his face just dissipate. And then he just pushes him over. And like a tower of cards, he just hits the ground. He turns his attention over towards Lassily. Then she gives a nod for a moment before she sits down. She looks over into the distance, closes her eyes, and then you just see a crossbow bolt appear in her chest. And she falls and hits the other side of the bleachers. Blood begins to pour down. He takes a look at Bubbles, who already on the ground just begins to age and age and age to the point where his body just can't keep up with him anymore.
Oh.
And as he looks back towards the crows, they just disappear. Just gone. Crumb, from the very beginning, you see this just impaled creature that just begins to grimace. You see this anger pour over this destroyed, monstrous arachnid face. And as that rage kind of subsides, she too just disappears. And all that's left now is Loveless. And as he looks over towards the lot of you, he says, well, then. He reaches up and just slowly begins to take off the bandages of his face, and you see just this elongated and broken Disnan or Syrian. Eventually, all of those bandages just fall off his body, and what you see now is this just small, innocent, happy halfling man who says he's never gone for long. He'll be back. Thank you. These moments of lucidity are very few and far between. But I will never forget what you've done for me here. This place, it will all fade soon. For me and for all of you, so. I offer you what little I can. Knowledge, I suppose. Have you anything you need to know. My name is Syrian Pont, one of 3 famed families that form a triad of control, or at least we did, before Amaranth. Lovelace is a part of me, and he knows of you now. He's obsessed with you. He's become a part of the Pale, I think. And it's a part of him, too.
I'm still in the Abyssal Chicken, yeah?
Oh, you
Okay.
pop back.
Yeah, in the background, just like, it's like, ugh.
Vincent will turn to Matilda and like snap his fingers up and cast a healing word on you.
You said Loveless is part of the Pale?
9 hit
Oh,
points.
yes.
Can you tell us what that is exactly?
I don't know exactly, but it is the plane of nothingness. It feels real. He waves a hand, and you can see this just gray trail behind him. As he does so, the entire tent itself just melts away, and where you find yourself is just a desolate plain of nothing. In the distance, you see this just massive hulking forms, hundreds of feet tall, just wandering. You hear guttural groans that fade away on the wind, wispy forms of gray flame, gouts burning from fissures in the ground, and just ash everywhere.
This Lovelace, is he a part of you?
We are one and the same. He is what came from me traversing this place.
And he doesn't want to live anymore.
No.
He wants to be nothing.
It was the hand. They called themselves the hand of the lady that brought us here for the first time.
That's the symbol with the porcelain hand, yeah?
He kind of waves his hand, and the gray that now suffuses and just tears all around you forms the same symbol.
You said it was the lady's hand?
The hand of the lady.
The hand of the lady.
They think themselves pioneers of a better future. But they will do unspeakable things.
Age, what's this person's first name again? Something
Syrian.
It's a Syrian Pont.
Syrian. If you can get into contact us back on the material plane. Like I said, I can't do it now, but see what the future brings. I might be able to help you.
We know of items that protect against the effects of the Pale. Have you ever tried using something like that?
So the item that you have actually is the opposite. It's the the item that you have is called the Ringlets of the Pale, and they seem to protect you against other effects such as the Azure Flame.
Oh, I was confused because I thought it was the effects of the Pale, and I was thinking that the Azure Flame might have been an effect of the Pale. Cool.
Oh, the Azure Flame and this kind of strange gray wasteland that you find yourselves in are starkly different.
Okay, cool, thank you.
You used to be part of the dungeon?
Well, if your theory holds, Matilda, the dungeon was part of our world as well.
Yes, but they talk about, you look, there's an ash and there's a pit, and it looks like they were exposed to the birthplace that brought the dungeon to be. And I can't imagine what that would do to you if you were in the ground zero of that kind of magic and timeline bullshit. Yeah, you probably got pretty fucked up.
He looks around and he says, "Yes, the dungeon. We are in the dungeon now. We were taken here. They opened a portal. They brought us here."
They opened the portal?
Into the dungeon?
He waves a hand again, and a silvered stone with veins of like pulsating silver appears before him, and he says, "This, but perfected." And he twists his fingers again, and as it continues to distort, it becomes a perfect sphere, almost mechanical, like individual veins of silver moving through it and ending at points of perfect spheres. And then he grasps it, and it dissipates into dust. They are moving. I was but the first. The hand. I'm sure they know of you too.
We've had our run-in. Once.
And perhaps you are our hope. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep him at bay this time, but he will be back for you. I think you are his hope too now.
On the long list of people that are coming after us. He's gonna have to take a number.
That's fine, dear. I have a waiting room if he needs to use it, so.
Syrian moves over to the side of the bleachers and sits down. How far have you descended into the dungeon?
We were on the 10th floor before this.
Kinda broke it.
How far has anyone reached?
26.
Why do you not know what's going on?
Oh, no. It's rather hazy in here. Well, congratulations. I think you've just made history. Welcome to the 50th floor.
On the 50th floor right now?
In all of its glory. And he waves his hands and you just see the desolation.
How did
endless
we get
plain
here?
of nothing.
Did
Something
you use one of those
glorious.
portals?
I don't know what Lovelace did to bring you here. I've never seen it happen quite like this. But he must be growing as well. I would urge you just simply stop. But if you are truly divers, then I know that will not stop you.
No, dear. We need to make it at the top. Unless, of course, you or Lovelace can offer what it does.
I don't know what I can do for you. I'm just a man. He pulls a small deck of cards from his pocket and begins to flip through the cards, and he's like, "Is this your card?" Throws it off.
Killian, what did you want to say?
The others that were here with you, were they just made up? Were they other people that were brought here?
They were part of my troop. I didn't do too well as a adventurer, so I left a life behind me. I joined a circus, and it didn't really sit well with me, nor anyone else. I was just a fumbling fool. And then things took a turn when we started stealing. Stealing turned to killing. And things became wrong.
Mama Mel and Pom Pom say stealing is a gateway crime. You have to be careful. Don't get caught.
Does Lovelace work for Hand of the Lady? Do you know?
I think they can point him. But he looks over towards Vincent and says, "But you seem to have a pointer finger of your own."
So
This might
Find what he needs. As much as you might want to get rid of him, he's a part of you. He has his own desires.
you see.
You know a bit about the Hand of the Lady because your troop worked with them. Do you know of any other groups that they were working with?
You see from the feet up, his body begins to unravel, like the white cloth that had previously been surrounding and restraining him. And then as it begins to move upwards, you ask this question. He says, I don't know much about them. They captured me. They used me in one of their experiments. They sparked a lightning strike. And from it, a portal appeared as a part of my body, within me and without, and I was pulled here. I don't remember much about how I escaped, nor how long I was here, but I feel like I am a part of this place now as it is a part of me. In the distance, those hulking forms that you saw previously just stop and slowly begin to turn their attention towards you. To the north, quite a ways. You spot a throne and maybe 100 humanoid figures beneath it, carrying it towards your location. They are a long way away, but slowly they begin to approach. He looks over towards you all, and I fear I don't have much time.
Can you help us get out?
Yeah, yes. Though it's not going to be pretty.
It never is, dear.
I tell you what, if we ever meet again. And then the unraveling cloth reaches about his midsection. If we ever meet again, let's just go for a boring drink. He smiles and begins to laugh.
Yeah, fuck carnivals.
Stay away from the Pont families. They aren't what they seem. As he slowly begins to unravel, he closes his eyes, he closes his mouth, takes one last deep breath, and the last flitter of paper dissipates. The cloth moves away and is caught on the wind. And you are left here for a moment before the ground itself begins to quake. A leaking chasm of silver begins to bubble up from beneath you, and as it begins to cut away at the pale around it, a small portal appears at your feet, bubbling liquid pouring out of it.
I guess this is our ride home. We'll be back. And Vincent will turn and look towards the giant creature coming towards us. But another time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Vincent will jump in.
Jojo will too.
Killian just pushes Bladebeak towards the portal and then like flops in after him.
And Matilda stays.
No,
This is
Live
my
her
home
life
now.
out here.
I'm coming, but I kind of like pause and I look back. And then I hop in.
You look back towards the figure that's coming towards you.
Yeah.
Both Vincent and Matilda roll perception. As both of you look, the distance between you and this figure shrink.
Can I guide myself?
You may. In
Ooh.
fact, it seems like distance doesn't really have a relative concept here.
Do I get advantage because it zooms in?
No.
No, okay. I tried.
18 and 19.
Yeah.
Both of you look upon the visage of this figure. Let me go ahead and pull out the picture. A god in her own right. You see a weathered and destroyed, but beautiful and imposing. A regal woman formed of this kind of wispy nothingness, being carried upon a palanquin and moving in towards you with a presence of commanding domination. Vincent, you leave this individual behind and you travel through the portal, and Matilda, as you look upon this visage and descend, a hand raises and goes to grasp onto the mile-wide diameter of where you currently stand. Perspective breaks, and as the fingers dig into the dirt underneath, you reach the bottom of the portal, and you all find yourselves taking those few steps into the 10th floor from when you had just entered. As you now look upon the Bloodgate village and you think about what you need to do, the memories of the Pale that reside within you have disappeared. You look onwards towards your home, Killian, and you think nothing of what had transpired, but simply of Talca. And the rest of you, as you look onwards and you see a familiar figure moving in towards you to take inventory of the new divers that have arrived on this floor. The Pale remembers you.
Oh.
And that is all we have for this special Halloween episode of Ashfall.
Ooh.
Well, shit, man.
We arrive on the 10th floor, and Jojo's just like, why are my ears ringing so much?
You've got like these scars.
Yeah, I've got these scars on my head.
Everyone is beat the shit up.
You all have candy in your pocket, too. Which is strange.
Well, Vincent doesn't have candy, but he's got a sick umbrella.
Matilda feels like
Mhm.
shit because like I felt so bad because I kept going in and out of that battle, but like I got knocked the fuck out right out of the gate. And I was like, shit.
You also have a map, and Matilda, you have in your head for the next 6 months a map of the Pale.
Now here's the thing.
Run.
That didn't leave her head.
It did not.
Now here's the thing. None of what I remember, like I don't remember anything at all, even with my creepy mind.
No,
Remember the map.
nothing. What you have in your head as you had scanned the map previously, you have no idea of its source. You don't know why. It might be a spark of divine inspiration, but you have this infinite
Urge.
map that is just slowly expanding in your mind. And as you think on it, more gets added. For 6
Ooh.
months, you have this map in mind, and then
Oh
it
my
will
God.
be gone.
That's gonna have an entire section on the conspiracy board.
It's gonna have its own room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
An infinite,
yeah.
infinite map. You know, Pepe Sylvia. This.
We
shit.
need an infinite folding paper.
Vincent does have an infinite book, but
Was there any other loot we got?
pardon?
We got candy, umbrella, map. Is that
That's
it?
The tickets are gone.
Just that.
Oh, does Vincent still have his coin on a string?
Ooh.
Vincent has his
Oh,
coin.
the
Killian
coin.
has the coin. Or no,
Matilda
Killian,
has
you
the
gave
coin.
the
No,
coin.
I-
Matilda and Vincent. Both of you still have the paper folded coin.
And we have a
Also-
new title.
Yeah.
Yeah, you both still have the honorless title,
Hmm.
which now you don't know where it came from.
Do we ever know where they come from?
No, they just Vincent, like woke up one morning and some dude's like, "Oh, that's neat." And he's like, "Oh, neat." So this is fine.
Yeah.
Look at it and be like, "Meh."
Matilda will just laugh. She's like, fuck, honor's stupid. Like, honor
Them
means
is
shit.
fighting
Means,
words.
honor
Wait
means
till you say
shit.
it.
I hope you all enjoyed this little bit of post-amble ending on honor means
I'm
shit.
sorry.
No, I love
This is
it.
every session.
Until next
We
time
just don't record it.
at the Dragonleaf. Bye, everybody.
Bye.